use the bigger.
Né?
Yeah.
Não.
You had them on the phones.
Isso tinha para fazer a
What?
I like it. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. But you need.
I see a few of you attendees have signed in. Welcome. We're just waiting to get started. Arlene, hey, how you doing? If you guys want to check out and communicate, ask any questions, please refer to the chat. I've posted a link to where you can find the recipes that Chef Delamore will be using this evening. So please feel free to use that.
Yeah, there you go.
We have a few more attendees. Margaret, welcome. Diane, welcome. Meg, welcome. As I mentioned before, we're going to get started in a few minutes. Chef Delamore is just prepping. The recipes he will be using tonight can be found in the chat. Please use the chat for any questions. We will be beginning momentarily. Thank you for coming.
What?
All right, we are less than 1 minute away from beginning. Once again, I'm just gonna mention the link for the recipes is posted in the chat. If you have any questions, please use the chat function to ask any questions and we will relay them to Chef Delamore. Thank you all for coming, and Chef Delamore will begin when he's ready. Thank you all for coming and joining us this evening. We appreciate it.
Alex, thank you, my friend. Welcome,
Thank you.
everyone. Welcome, everyone, to my home. My name is Chef Dr. Robert Delamore. I have been presenting programming now for over 15 years, nationally, from Alabama to Alaska, working in 22 states with children, teens, adults, parents, and kids. A program I developed called The Power of Food. I have brought it to Middle Country multiple times now through Alex Blend. I love working with him. We just do such great work together. And I always get I'm blessed to get a great response, 50, 60 people coming out and registering for my program. So thank you. So this is a pleasure to be cooking for my peeps in Middle Country. I've got 2 amazing recipes. I know you're gonna love them. I always try to do healthy cooking, you know that, but come up with innovative ways to make it more appealing for adults, kids. I mean, we did a gourmet flatbread pizza that everyone loved, the Italian bread pizza, super crunchy. We've done Indian food through Alex, he loves that. And I'm big on spices and big flavor. Very little salt, you know that I use very little salt. And I try to bring my approach to cooking to my friends, my students at the libraries in a really, really different way than a commercial chef. I'm not using any butter in any of my recipes over 15 years, never once, no cream, nothing. Just bringing out big flavor from garlic, from raw ginger, onion, and we're gonna get started. Also, of course, very little or no salt in my cooking. I love to do that in front of everyone and then serve you and watch your reactions. It's always been, again, I'm very blessed, always been a favorable response, and I love working with Alex and everyone here at Middle Country. Super important to me. So let's get started. We're gonna do butternut squash with sweet potato, onion, and chicken over delicious cumin seed basmati rice, perfectly cooked basmati rice I've prepared for us this afternoon. We're going to get started right away, and then I've got an amazing salad that's going to knock your socks off, okay? Try to hold the questions till the end, and let's get started, okay? So I have my onions here. Now, I could come in and slice these onions like this, and then slice very thinly. And you notice that I'm using the distal end, or the far end of the knife towards the tip when I chop. And it's easier to do so when you use the distal end of the blade towards the tip. You'll also notice my hand, actually my finger comes off the handle here. And I apologize for the rat-a-tat, but I want to slice this nice and thin. Okay, this hand is of course going to assume a claw-like position, so you can never see, you never want to see your fingernails, of course. Okay, and what about a more reasonable, just pushing motion here with the onion, slicing it nice and thin. Well, for this dish, I'm going to use a dice instead of a slice. So let me just put this aside. Pull here, here. So To dice my onion, I'm gonna move my hand. Remember, this is a knife skills program. We're gonna go over my pantry items that I have in baskets behind me. I'll introduce those as well. But I wanna get started here cooking these onions. So to dice this, I'm gonna move my hand like this so my finger is on top of the blade. And now I'm gonna use the tip of the blade, and much easier to use that tip, and I'm gonna pull the knife, okay? Turn the onion 90 degrees and then cut across, and we have an instant dice. It takes no time. What you have to do is peel the onion, cut off the ends, cut it in half so it's nice and flat. And then again, to dice it, we're just gonna pull the knife, use the tip of the blade. Remember, it's easier to use the tip rather than the full breadth of the blade, okay? And if you're cooking at home, you know you're using this technique every day, okay? I am also not going all the way through the onion. You see I have it connected here so it stays together. Then I can just slice it nice and thinly like this. Okay, producing a nice dice. Okay, so for you at home when you're cooking this, 1 to 2 onions. And again, in my recipe, I have 1 to 2 because if you want to make it for 1 or 2 people, just use 1 onion. If you're making it for 3 or 4, use 2 onions, okay? Okay, so here's my handy dandy portable gas range with the saute pan. What we're gonna do is we're gonna saute this onion and get it going here. A little olive oil. If you don't have extra virgin, you could use pure olive oil or canola oil if you like. Coconut oil is fine as well. Now, I like to get the oil nice and hot, of course. So what we do is we just let it sit, and then I'll just take a little onion. And once I hear a little bit of a sizzle, I'm going to introduce the rest of my onion. Okay, this is a great tip, of course, to prevent the onion from soaking up the oil. You want the oil to be nice and hot so you get a sizzle when the onion hits the pan. Okay, we're going to feature the sweet potato and the butternut squash. I'm going to show you how to process them both. Okay, I have them here. Let me just make sure this oil's hot and I hear a little sizzle. Now, another great thing, you know that I love these little plastic cutting boards. You can just bring the food right over to the pan. And again, hard to do this with the butcher block cutting board. So place one on top of the cutting board, of the plastic one on top here, and keeps everything nice. Okay, so really important is not to add too much oil to the pan. If you do, it will take twice as long to saute these onions perfectly. Okay, twice as long. What I have here is about, I don't know, half a tablespoon of oil in my pan with my onion. Now, every chef on every cooking show in every restaurant is going to add salt and pepper to these onions. We're not adding any salt. I will be adding some black pepper. No salt in this recipe. Then, again, I'm just sauteing the onion. I'm not frying it. If I had too much oil, the onion would just crisp up and fry in the oil. Try and avoid that with just a little bit of oil. You could always add more oil if you want. If you wanted to add sun-dried tomatoes, you know that I love those. I would add those now as well. They're a concentrated form of the tomato, super healthy and super concentrated, so they go in right after the onion. Okay, while these onions are cooking, I want to show you how I process the butternut squash. Okay, so really importantly to point out, I think, is to make sure that you have these root vegetables and incredible cruciferous vegetables on hand, because they last a long time. These, the cabbage, the butternut squash, the potato, the sweet potato, big nutrition here versus a white potato. Go with the sweet potato, more flavor. I think they're 10 times sweeter than a regular potato. although I love making the potatoes in the morning with eggs. A little turmeric, some cumin powder. Those are some great potatoes. But we're going to feature the sweet potato here. Now these onions are browning, starting to brown. Watch what I do here. What I've done is peeled, cut it in half, and remove the seeds, okay? And what I like to do is now, because it's flat, I can use my knife to cut strips into the butternut squash. You see here? So here, once I have these on my table, on my cutting board, I want to dice them, okay? So to do that, I'm going to turn them like this, and I'm just going to dice them nice and small. So the smaller you cut them, the faster they're going to cook, okay? Now, these, according to the recipe, these are going to be roasted in the oven, and they're going to come out so sweet. You don't even need to put pepper on. They're just insanely delicious. If you like a little salt and pepper, you're good to go with the sweet potato. Now those are going to go, where's my pan? In a pan with a little oil on top. Okay, I recommend having a little nipple like this on the top of your oil dispenser so you can dispense a fine bead of oil, not too much oil. Too much oil is going to create a smoke hazard and a smoke fire in the oven, okay? 400 degrees, a little oil on the bottom. These sweet potatoes go right on top, okay? And we want to try and have them in a flat lay, okay? Now, what I want to do, we'll just put that there. That's fine. Okay. Now, in order to save time, as per my recipe, I recommended cooking the sweet potatoes with the onions. You could do that. It's absolutely delicious. See my onions are starting to pick up some color here. No oil in the pan. Okay. Wow. So, next ingredient here would be my sweet potato. But I'm going to recommend you roast them with the butternut squash. Watch how I process this, okay? Slicing off one end, so now it's nice and flat, you see? Then again, I'm gonna go and make slices in the sweet potato, okay? Now I have these here, I'm gonna make strips of my sweet potatoes, just like this, okay? Now, really important, do not buy the big sweet potatoes. They're harder to cut. Okay, buy the small ones, easy to process, okay? Great tip, okay? Please keep that in mind. Okay, so these onions are cooking beautifully here. Once I have these cut like this, I just take my knife, I actually use my thumb knuckle to guide my blade, okay? And I produce a nice dice of my sweet potato. Now this is absolutely delicious, sauteed with red onion, and that's it. Amazing side dish. We love to make that. But for this dish, I'm going to pair it with the white onion. And again, this is going to go in my oven at 400 degrees. I'm going to cook both of these at the same time. Now, if you only have butternut squash, great. If you only have sweet potatoes, great. You don't have to have both. You can interchange, and again, they're both going to bring different flavors, different sweetnesses, but incredible. Okay, we're going to move this over here. Okay, so I have already prepared for us some sweet potato. This is my butternut squash and my sweet potato. So this is going to go in my pan in just a minute. It's already cooked. I roasted it this afternoon. It took about 20 minutes. Okay, we'll move these over here. Okay, now. Okay, now we got to go with big flavor with my garlic. Okay, for this, I'm going to slice. I'm going to use my ceramic knife here. Okay, I'm going to make with my finger on top of the blade. Now the blade is an extension of my finger. I make little slices across the garlic. Okay, And then I like to, again, with my finger on top, pull the knife and hold the garlic in between my fingers so that it stays together. Then I can mince this in literally seconds. Okay, this is a nice mince of my garlic. Now, in my directions, I think I failed to say when to add the ginger. The cardinal rule is you add the ginger at the same time as the garlic. If you want the garlic to get a little head start, you can go ahead and add it. A little early. Let me show you what we do with this amazing ginger. Look at this ginger. Okay, this ginger root I've had about a week and a half. Okay, using it every day. It goes from the refrigerator back outside to in the refrigerator, and I just keep moderating it in and out so it doesn't pick up too much moisture in the refrigerator. But I wanted you to see what I have here. This is a very nice flat piece, and this is the way I recommend you process the ginger when you have it fresh. We'll talk about freezing it too. But look at this. You can even take a spoon to this, but I like my peeler. If you like me, you're using the peeler every day. After these chef knives, this is my favorite utensil right here. Another little trick is to have a Tupperware or a bowl on hand for garbage. Okay, rather than going to the pail for every little thing, you just have it right there. Okay, look at this beautiful ginger. Okay, I'm gonna slice this really thinly now like this. So this ginger root is going to bring big flavor, big nutrition, fabulous for boosting immunity. Hello, we all need that now. It's also tremendously important for aiding in digestion. It actually is a great cure for nausea, okay? And the ginger, again, is going to bring big flavor. We're going to introduce it in our salad as well. Raw. Okay, where is my spoon? Okay, the garlic is cooking, the onion is cooking nicely. I'm gonna add my ginger, and we're just gonna mince this like this. Okay. So this minced ginger, it's a little bit too much, so I'm just gonna use half of it here. Actually, a little bit more, okay? Okay. And this is going to go in a Tupperware, and it's going to go in my refrigerator. Here. Okay. Now, you can use any chicken you like for this dish. You can use pork sliced very thinly. It's delicious. I'm going to use some diced chicken breast that I have here prepared for us. It's going to go right in my pan. Okay, with my sauteed onion, excuse me. Okay, sorry. With my sauteed onion and garlic and ginger. Okay. Now, this is such a delicious dish because we're going to start to build flavor now with our black pepper. Okay. I'm adding a little fresh basil, dry basil too. I love it. Not in my ingredient list. I've been cooking a while with it. I just love it. You try it, you add whatever you like. If you want to add a little cumin, you could do that too. Okay, so now to cook this down, and again, I have my, we're going to be adding this over that basmati rice. It's going to be delicious. You can add fresh herbs to this if you like. Those are always going to be added at the end. You can see this is cooking up nicely. Okay. So let's get this going. We want to cook this chicken all the way through. We have big flavor here from our ginger, from our garlic. We're gonna now add a little teriyaki sauce, which is delicious. A little bit of salt in here. That's why I didn't add any prior. This is gonna give it an Asian flavor. I love to mix and match. Yesterday, we made a dish with balsamic vinegar. You could do the same thing with balsamic instead of teriyaki. Less sodium soy sauce or hoisin sauce is delicious too. Okay. Now with my white meat, I don't want to overcook it. So I'm focused here. I'm watching it cook. All of the pieces of chicken are cooked, are cut around the same size. And that is paramount so that you don't overcook it or undercook any of the pieces. So try to keep the pieces of chicken, especially the white meat, cut about the same size. Hey, if you like dark meat chicken, some thigh meat, delicious in here. We like to cook with that often, okay? And the white meat is definitely easier to overcook. So I like to demonstrate with white meat as often as possible. The dark meat, you can let it sit, you can go over and do something else. What do we do with the chicken thigh? We throw it on the grill outside and close it and walk inside. So the dark meat is totally different. You can see there's no oil in the pan. It's just coating the onion, the garlic. My onion, by the way, is perfectly caramelized here. Okay. Now this smells amazing. So easy. Now, the ginger, I gotta talk to you about the ginger really fast. If you don't happen to cut the ginger super fine, mince it super fine, guess what? It's a great surprise when you bite into a piece of a larger piece of ginger. It's refreshing. It's delicious. You have to try it. It's amazing. So don't worry about mincing the ginger really fine. Okay, I'm going to add my sweet potatoes. Okay. The butternut squash is just absolutely insanely delicious. You could do this dish with spaghetti squash. Let's do this. Just give it a shake. And this is why I use this larger pan, because I was introducing these other vegetables that I cut up already. Okay, so we're looking to put this over the rice in just a minute. Let me talk to you about the rice while this finishes cooking. Okay, the basmati rice. Who loves basmati rice? I love it. I have tried to master the cooking of the basmati rice every time. There are a couple of things to consider. This is what the basmati rice looks like, how I buy it in a 10-pound bag. This is one of the best varieties. I don't know if you can see that, but try to get the rice like this. Basmati rice is the king of rice, I think. Basmati means fragrant or fragrance. And that is what the basmati rice yields when you cook it. Just the most amazing fragrance. And it's also coveted throughout the world and loved for centuries because it's long grain. And the way to cook it properly, every time you must follow a couple of steps. And not only does the rice come out soft and fluffy and airy and long grained, but it lasts twice as long in the refrigerator for leftovers. And that's key because we're making a cup of rice and we're using it for a couple of different meals. Okay, so the steps I'm going to outline for you are really important. You could always Google it, but really importantly, you must soak the rice before you cook it. At least 15 minutes. I like to soak it 20 minutes. The grains just enlarge, they lengthen, it's incredible. And what's most important is you do this in the sink. You let the water from the filter or from the tap, you're just rinsing the rice. And you have to do this a couple of times. You'll see the starch creates a cloudy water. And that's what we want to pour off and then refill it and rinse it again. So I do it 5 times. I rinse my basmati rice 5 times. Remember, 1 cup basmati rice, 2 cups of filtered water in the pan. But when we're rinsing, we're just rinsing, and we move it around with our hands in the bowl until the water is clear. And then, and only then will we introduce to the rice on the stove. We're going to cook 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice for until it boils, and then we're going to turn it down and let it simmer. I like to let it simmer for 25 minutes, 30 minutes. And then another trick that I found that makes it come out perfectly every time, you've got to try this. I shut off the gas and I just let it sit on the stove, never ever removing that top. And what happens is the steam that forms on the top after the water evaporates pulls the grains of rice, basmati rice, up close, and up close towards the lid where the steam is, and it just the rice blooms. You have to try it, and then when it's done, you just fork it out, and it's just incredible. Now, what I prepared for us is some basmati rice, and I don't know if you could see the little flecks in the rice of toasted cumin seeds. And I think I shared this trick with you when I did my Indian recipe, my Indian class at Middle Country. But these little flecks of toasted cumin seeds, which are right here, I'm going to talk about them in a minute over here in my pantry. But these toasted cumin seeds are incredible. When you're cooking the rice, you can add them to the water and rice and then cover it and just let it cook. The house just takes on an incredible aroma of the cumin seed. It's intoxicating. Or you can do like I did today. I just cooked the rice and then I added it at the end, and it's insane. So these cumin seeds are toasted, so they're crunchy. When you bite into them, they add a nice crunch and big flavor to our rice. You could salt this and a little bit of olive oil. It's delicious. Believe it or not, I had this just with some black beans for lunch, and it was insanely good. Little olive oil, and you can see my rice is nice and long grained. I'm gonna put this over here. I don't know if you can see how long these grains are, but the basmati is delicious. Now, you could use quinoa instead. You could use whole grain rice or brown rice. You could use couscous. You could also put this over pasta. Okay, if you'd like, you could also put this in a taco or burrito. Delicious. Doesn't this look amazing here? Okay, so I forgot, very importantly. Okay, the perfect complement I found to the butternut squash are pineapple wedges. And you've got to try these when you make this dish. It's an incredible combination. The pineapple with the butternut squash is just an amazing marriage together. The other thing we're going to add to this is my avocado. And this is optional. The pineapple is optional too, but it's just a really cool combination. Now I want to show you how I process this avocado, and then we're going to plate this. Okay, you notice that I have it in a plate and the skin it's upside down, so the skin is covering it. This is how I store the mango. Okay, now, when you buy the mango, you do not buy the soft mango. You buy the biggest mango that you see. Okay, that goes home, and then it goes in the cupboard, like this one here, you see? And this hastens the ripening, the dark confines of the cover. Once it's sufficiently soft, then I bring it out, I serve it, I process it, and then it goes in the refrigerator. Now, let me show you how we do this. So what I do is, you see I've been using this, but this is going to help this mango get riper and riper and last twice as long by keeping the skin on. So again, I just take my knife and take 2 slivers of skin in my little garbage pail there. And then I take my paring knife here and I just slice like this. Okay, and this way you don't even have to touch the mango. It goes right in your pan or right in your salad bowl or dish. Well, this is amazing with yogurt, okay? But this is a great way to keep and process the mango. It continues to ripen. You see, this is all going to be delicious. I don't worry about it turning brown or getting overly ripe outside. Really the way to go, okay? Okay, so this is delicious. This is ready to go. what I need to do is plate this. So to do that, I'm going to take this like this. I'm going to take my basmati rice, again, quinoa. You could add it to the dish here, or we could plate it like this, make a little indentation, and then this is going to go right on top here. Okay. And this is how you use your pantry items like butternut squash or the sweet potato. Your onion that you have, of course, and the chicken is delicious. Okay, this is ready to go. Let me get some pieces of mango on there. Okay. Hey, if you want to add some walnuts to this, it's delicious. Little crunch of the walnut. Okay, I'm going to put this right here. Okay. Okay, and this. Now, I like to recommend you always cook with leftovers in mind, okay? This rice is going to yield 3 or 4 meals, okay? And again, it's going to stay twice as long, nice and long-grained, airy and light in the refrigerator because I rinsed it 5 times, let it soak for at least 15, 20 minutes before cooking it, and then at the end, I let it sit on the stove. So try this trick. When you think it's done, there's no more water, you let it cook for 25, 30 minutes, turn off the gas and let it sit and just let it bloom. It's incredible. Okay. So again, if you can purchase the sweet potatoes and the butternut squash in a small version like this, it's easier to process. Okay, you're going to put a peeler to this. I like to cut it down the middle, and then it's flat. I'm going to peel it using a sharp peeler. This is why the peeler, you have to have a good peeler. This is my OXO Good Grips. I would not be able to live without this peeler. Okay, I'm using it every day. It starts in the morning when I'm peeling my apples and my mango for my yogurt in the morning, or my oats. Okay, this is done. This is my butternut. Now, again, we're going to mix and match the sweet potato, the butternut squash, the quinoa, the rice. And I think that you'll agree this is a real winner dish here. Okay, my next dish, I can't wait to share with you. It's my ginger mango kale salad. I think it's just one of the best salads I've ever had. Been doing this program over 15 years. Started doing a version of this kale and cabbage salad. I'm going to show you how we do it. Okay, so here's my organic kale that I have washed and air dried. Okay, and what I'm going to do is remove the rib here. You can see this fibrous rib. Okay, so nothing goes to waste here. Okay, now what we're going to do is in 2 seconds remove this rib here, and this goes over here. This is going to go in the garbage. Okay, now I want to share with you a little trick how we're going to process this. We're going to slice this very thinly. It's called a chiffonade. Sliced very thinly like wisps of straw or hay. That is the literal meaning in French, in English, of the term chiffonade. Okay, so very often done that technique with basil, fresh basil, chiffonade basil, sliced very thinly. Okay, this is going to go in I want to show you what I do here, how I store this. Okay, this is the trick to not doubling, but tripling the life of your greens. All of your fresh vegetables must be stored with a Tupperware layer on top and on bottom is maximal. You're going to triple the life of these greens. This is going to work with your lettuce, with your arugula, with your organic spinach. What I do is I will open up my organic, triple washed organic spinach, take out my what I'm going to be serving in a salad or in a saute, and then I put a paper towel on top, seal it up, and then turn it upside down. If you're feeling really resourceful, you can take all of the spinach out of the plastic container, put the Tupperware in like this, and then you have it on top and bottom, and then you can just put it away like this. It will truly allow your greens to last 3 times longer. Try it with your fresh herbs. I love giving this trick, sharing this trick, the paper towel trick. dry paper towel. Okay, so when we start to, when you first start to do this recipe, I recommend you take a little bit of kale like this. I'm going to completely radically change the mouthfeel, the texture of this kale like you've never had before. Okay, by keeping it small like this, you can put it in the palm of your hand and squeeze it so your knuckles turn white. Okay, this allows us to keep it in a very tight bowl. And then what I can do is take my knife and slice it very, very thin. You take a nice slow approach, safely pushing the knife through the kale. And again, this is a total transformation. We went from this, or I should say this, to this, to this. And this is going to be the bed for our salad. Mango, ginger, mango, kale salad. Now, what's key and really important about the salad is not adding too much kale, because we want the kale to be just wisps of kale. You'll see once I plate this exactly what I mean. Okay, I'm going to move this if you don't mind. Can't wait to do that. Okay. Okay, so again, I like to have enough kale on the bottom of the bowl. That's awfully little bit. Let me just process a little bit more. Once you get good, you can take a big amount like this. And again, keeping it in a bowl is going to allow us to slice it very thinly. And I'm putting pressure on so my knuckles are a little white. Okay, and I'm just pushing and slicing very thinly. Definitely easier if you start with just a little bit of kale and do process a little bit at a time. Okay, this is what makes this salad so special, is this kale chiffonade like this. Okay, you never had a salad like this before. Okay, now, again, you see I'm not adding much more because I don't want too much kale. This is going to go in a Tupperware along with that. Okay, let's put this over here for now. Okay. So I think the perfect marriage of chiffonade kale is thinly sliced cabbage. And I love to share another knife skill with you. Okay, so from chopping, my hand is here. While chopping, my hand is like this. And then I move my hand to the top here when I'm pulling. Now for this, I'm going to have my hand here, my finger right on the side of the blade. So again, I went from here to here. From here to here facilitates release of energy. Okay, here my hand is gripping the blade handle very tightly, and I'm chopping very intensely. Here, I'm just caressing the knife. I'm just literally just holding the blade handle, just holding it. There's no upper body force going through my hand and through the blade now. So I can, it can afford me a nice thin slaw here. Watch what we do. I'm going to take my hands here, 4 fingers behind and thumbkin on top, and then I'm going to take my knife and just in a parallel motion to the cabbage, I'm just slicing very thinly, you see? And this allows me, again, not to go deep. If I go like this, I'm going to go deep right away. I want a thin slaw, okay? You could actually peel your sweet potatoes like this, okay? This technique works all the time. Try it. It's really an eye-opener, okay? To get a nice thin slaw, we're going to do that. I could use my green cabbage as well. I could use both or just one. I always like to turn the cabbage to 90 degrees and then slice through it again. It helps prevent the choking hazard, especially with children. Again, this is going to be crunchy and just so incredible as a complement to the chiffonade kale. And again, we're going to have crunch. We're adding crunch, color, and cancer prevention. Okay, now, very importantly, if you want to use romaine lettuce, cut it to the width of a fork. Do not try a chiffonade technique with the romaine lettuce. It wilts down to nothing. But same thing with spinach. If you chop it very thinly, it comes out very, very bad. Just keep the baby spinach whole and the romaine cut to the width of a fork. Only the kale will hold up to the chiffonade like this. This is amazing. Okay, it's not going to wilt at all. You can see it. And just by mixing them together, you can see that this is just going to be a beautiful base to our salad. Okay, we're going to start to add some color now. For this, I'm going to add some carrot. Okay, beta carotene, super healthy. Hey, some people have trouble with the firmness of the carrot, the hardness, and have dental issues. So this is a cool little trick to take your box grater and take the carrot and just mince it. You're shredding it like this, and it literally takes no time. And you notice I'm using my small little Tupperware top here as a cutting board. It affords me a rim. You're going to see what I'm going to do with it in a minute, okay? But this is the way we like to process the carrot. Big color, big crunch, but not too hard for those with any dental issues. It's a great way to get the carrot into the salad and into the diet, the raw carrot. Okay, what about these guys here? Okay, so these, without looking, I can just pour these on my cutting board and they're not going anywhere because of this rim on this cutting board. You see? Okay, so if I did this with a flat cutting board without a rim, they'd be rolling all around. Now, these are pretty big cherry tomatoes, so I'm going to cut them lengthwise. You can cut them in half if you like. I do that all the time with a smaller one, but you can see these are nice and big. So I like to cut them across like this. And you'll notice my finger on top of my blade. Again, the blade is an extension of my finger. The other beauty aspect of this Tupperware top as a cutting board is any juice remains on the cutting board. Okay, so when you get a nice beefsteak tomato from your garden this summer and you cut it on a flat cutting board like this, or even on a board like this, the juice goes all over, the seeds go all over. Here, it's right here. Okay, next thing I want to add is my Spanish olives, okay? And these I'm going to have as well, and they have a little juice here. In fact, I like to add a little bit of this juice. So there's a little salt in this water, but it brings big flavor. You got to try it. It's amazing in your salad. Try it. I just love it. It brings a nice fresh flavor. When we combine it with that ginger and lemon, it's amazing. So I'm going to just take the tip of my knife here and just slice these in half. You could serve these whole. These are Spanish olives. You could use black olives if you like. If you don't have olives, don't worry about it. Still make the salad. All you really need for this is the cabbage and the kale. And again, if you don't have the kale, just use romaine or spinach, or arugula is amazing as well. Okay, now we're going to go crazy with some fiber and protein. Now, we're consuming beans. These are my kidney beans. These happen to have they are the highest in protein and fiber of all the legumes. The kidney bean and the lentil are equally super foods in protein and fiber. The cannellini, the black bean, the chickpea are all delicious and super healthy, have a ton of protein and fiber, but the red bean has the most. So when I purchase the red bean, I could either buy it in the bag like this, cook it, or I'll buy it in the can, and I will buy 1 can of red bean, 1 can of black bean, 1 can of red, 1 can of chickpea, 1 can of red, 1 can of cannellini, or the white bean. So I always have the red bean in the diet. Okay. Now, not only a plant source of protein, a lot of protein. We're talking very low calories and also tremendous source of soluble and insoluble fiber. And these aspects of the fiber are critical. Number one, the soluble fiber is going to remove cholesterol from the blood. This is critical to increase this fiber in the diet. The insoluble fiber is going to help us keep us regular, but also more importantly, it increases absorption ratios in the small intestine, which allows us to absorb more nutrients from the food that we eat. And this is essential. This is why these beans are so healthy and so filling, because we're maximizing absorption, not in the stomach, but in the small intestine. And this is why we're consuming 1 can of beans every day, a half a can with lunch, and then we have a half a can with dinner in some way, shape, or form. Okay, so we're not relying on the meat, the animal sources of protein. We're getting big protein from our legumes. How about some delicious lentils? I have a great program. My Greek lemon lentil soup is to die for. I'd love to do that with you next time, maybe. But again, getting the beans in the diet, they're shelf stable, right? You've got to have them in the house, either dry or in the can. They're the way to go. Okay. Of course, I removed the liquid from the can. The liquid that is in the can with the beans, I just washed it off and let them sit. And those are going to go in the refrigerator until you're ready to serve them. Okay, a couple more things. We're going to go with some blueberries. Okay, now, big flavor here. Where's my ginger? I'm taking my ginger here, and again, I want to show you what I do. I keep it nice and thin, nice and flat, and then I slice it thinly like this, you see? And then this rest of the ginger stays nicely. This can be saran wrapped. It's going to go back in the refrigerator. I'm going to take my spoon or my peeler. I just take the peeler really fast. And I am addicted to the aroma of this fresh ginger when you peel it and you cut into it. Every morning I have to have this in a smoothie, or I can't make a salad without it. Okay, again, by slicing it very thinly here, I can then go across and just produce matchsticks very thinly. Okay, the trick is to have it nice and flat, a nice flat piece and a thin piece, and then you can have your matchstick like this, and then we're going to just turn it 90 degrees, and we're going to mince this really fine. And again, if you don't mince it fine, you have a little chunk of ginger. It's absolutely delicious. Okay. So this is going to bring big flavor, big nutrition, naturally. I'm sorry, but I have to add 1 small to medium sized clove of raw garlic. Okay, this raw garlic in my salad is 6 times healthier than cooked garlic. 6 times healthier than the cooked garlic. Okay, it's also going to bring big flavor. You know about garlic's ability to boost immunity. Okay. Look it up, the health benefits of raw garlic. Okay. Now, the last thing I want to add here is my apple. And what I've done is I've taken my apple, peeled it, and sliced it, quartered it. Here you can see, and I added a little lemon juice to prevent it from oxidizing. So everybody could see it's beautiful white flesh. Then what I do is I like to take my ceramic knife, slice them down the middle, and then just turn them 90 degrees, and I'm going to produce a nice dice. Now this apple is going to bring big flavor, big crunch, sweetness, and a little acidity with my fresh lemon on top. Okay. Now, I did not even turn this salad over yet, but you can see how amazing it is. I'm going to also add some fresh mango, okay? And again, maximizing the usage of the peel to keep it, prevent it from turning. I just slice it like this. My hand, never touch the mango, it goes right in the plate. You could also prepare this ahead of time and put this in the refrigerator in a Tupperware, okay? And we could do this all day, Okay, just nice little slivers. What about over here? Oh boy, look at this. This is some salad. Okay, this goes upside down like that to prevent it from turning. Now we're going to dress this with a little balsamic vinegar. A little olive oil. You can add some fresh pineapple to this as well. What about some fresh cracked black pepper? How about some walnuts? Be delicious. Almonds, delicious. Okay, I think we're all done here with the salad. I didn't even turn it over yet. What about that kale on the bottom? Look at this. So you have the fine wisps of kale complementing the crunch of the slaw. We have the flavor of our the olive water. Don't forget, this adds a lot of flavor. Our ginger, our garlic. Now, we've got to add our last thing, which is our lemon. Now, you have to buy the lemon and be consuming lemon every day. It's been proven to be super healthy. Multiple body functions are benefited by the fresh lemon juice in the morning with warm water or hot water every morning. I try to do it an hour every morning, an hour before I eat. It's fantastic for the alimentary tract, the esophagus, the warm water, and it is a disinfectant. Don't forget, the scent of a lemon is also mood enhancing. It's been proven with research that the scent of a lemon can enhance your mood, elevate your mood. So this, we've got to have this on hand all the time. Now, which lemon will yield more juice, the bigger one or the smaller one? The bigger tip or the smaller tip? The answer is smaller tip. Okay, big tip means thick skin, less juice. Small tip, thin skin, more juice. So when you're buying them individually, look for the smaller ones. They have a thinner skin, they're going to yield more juice. Okay, now I'm going to take my lemon like this. What I like to do is, I have no seeds here, so I'm going to just bring it right here over my salad. Then I like to take either a set of tongs or a tablespoon. And it's so easy. Watch what we do. We take, you see all this pulp and juice here? Watch what we do. We hold it like this, cup it in our hand here. This spoon is going to be brought along the rim of the rind, the inside, and we're going to double the amount of lemon in our lemon half. Okay, so this is the way we get all the juice out of the lemon, just bringing it along it. And again, this is going to bring big flavor. Okay, combined with the olive oil, the ginger, the raw garlic. This is a real winner salad. Now, it really is bringing everything, the salad. It is so special. I think this salad is so wonderful on its own. It doesn't get better with the addition of any meats, some grilled meat. It really doesn't. And the beans allow you to get fuller, faster, longer when you eat a salad. Now, I want to plate this for us. We're going to do it like this. Take my tongs here. Okay, this is going to go on my plate. And this is a meal unto itself. Filling because of the beans. If you don't want to add the beans, you don't have to. Look at this amazing salad. I love teaching this class. Okay, now we're going to do this. Now we're really going to bring it over the top. We're going to bring this here like this. I'm going to add some toasted sesame seeds, okay? Now, these are what the sesame seeds look like before we toast them, and these are when they're toasted through. And these are so easy. It literally takes 5 to 10 minutes to do this. You're just going to put this in a dry pan, these sesame seeds in a flat layer in the pan and toast them until they get dark like this. They're gonna release their oils. A little bit of smoke is normal. They're not burning. Those are the oils being released from the sesame seeds. But this on top of the salad, now we're talking big, big, big flavor. Okay, not only reduces the flavor, not only brings big flavor and crunch, it also reduces the craving for carbs that a lot of people have when they have a salad. When you eat it with this, like this, you don't crave the carbs. So these are my two dishes. I want to try to entertain some questions, but I think we're running out of time. I really want to go over my my pantry items really fast. Does anybody have any questions?
Hey, we got two great dishes here. Thank you so much, Chef Rob. I don't have any questions right now, so if you want to do a couple pantry items, we still have a couple minutes.
Okay, let's talk about spices, okay? So here are my spices that I'm using almost every day or several times a week. My dry cumin, my turmeric. Okay, these are amazing when you make potatoes in the morning. You got to try it. Just be careful not to get the turmeric on your countertop or in the sink. It will stain it, or sometimes on the dish. Just wash it off. Make sure you do. But these are super healthy, big flavor. Along with the dry cumin, I also have cumin seeds always on hand, and these I'm going to toast in the same fashion as I did the sesame seeds. Browning them through in a dry pan, they release their oil, there's smoke, it's fabulous aroma. That's normal. The way to adjust the heat is to take the pan off the heat, shake it, put it back down. Okay, if they start to pop out of the pan, it's too hot. Okay. Along with these, I love my cayenne pepper. Look up on Google health benefits of cayenne pepper. You'll see pages and pages of research. Can't live without my cinnamon. I have my dry parsley here. I have my dry basil and my dry oregano here as well. I also love za'atar, which is an amazing mixture of sumac, toasted cumin seeds, thyme, some oregano. It's amazing, za'atar. What about coriander seeds? These are amazing. Mustard seeds, amazing. And this is these are whole herbs for biryani masala mix. This is amazing. Smell this through the packaging, it's amazing. But to have these on hand and to toast the sesame seeds and the cumin seeds, going to bring big flavor, crunch. I think you're going to agree the sesame seeds on here are amazing. Okay, other things in my pantry are these old-fashioned oats, okay, for breakfast. These are my options for breakfast. Oats or plain yogurt, whole milk plain yogurt with mango, apple every day, banana every day, half a banana, half an apple, some blueberries. The protein here is incredible, filling. Also here we can add some milk. Now I also recommend these, if you could pick these up, these are called tostados shells. And these are amazing. These are crunchy, these are twice as crunchy as a taco shell. I'm doing a chicken tostadas program. I think we are scheduled to do something in the summer. I'd like to do it virtually, possibly. This is such a winner program, the chicken tostadas. These are pre-made and these are delicious. Look those up, chicken tostadas. Okay, another staple, of course, we've talked about the beans, always having them on hand. What about your plum tomato? Whole peeled plum tomato along with the crushed can is going to make a delicious sauce with some garlic, olive oil, some dry basil, some dry oregano. I think we did that sauce when we did the chicken cutlets and chicken nuggets to die from program. Okay. Also, you can buy these spices at any Indian grocery store or Asian grocery store, or you can try and Stop and Shop, or Aldi, or Best Yet. Sesame seeds you should be able to get. Okay, what else do I have here? Okay, so these are my ancient grains, my quinoa, also going to feature some chia seeds and some flax seeds in my salads, my smoothies. Another source of carbohydrate is, of course, my pasta. Everyone has that, right? I love to have the pita on hand. This is whole wheat to make it with my hummus. And then these are awesome wraps that are great for burritos or wraps in the morning with eggs, or to make a wrap out of this would be delicious. So these are just alternatives. Hey, this really helps in lowering the carbs when you have a thin wrap versus some Italian bread. If you buy your Italian bread fresh, what I like to recommend is take it home, cut it with a serrated blade, put it in the freezer in a Ziploc bag, and you just break off a piece at a time. You put it in the toaster oven, you have freshly toasted, it tastes absolutely fresh. And I recommend that big time. Rather than keep it at home in the loaf or put it in the freezer in a loaf and then you have to defrost the whole thing, by cutting it really helps. Okay, what else? Are we done? Are we good with time?
Yeah, we're good with time. It's 8 o'clock. Honestly, I mean, you cooked 2 beautiful dishes. There's no questions. I think the big thing is that everyone's just upset that they're not able to taste what you cooked as usual. You know what I'm saying? When we
Alex,
do
I've
them
been
at the
doing it
library,
15
we get a taste, but now everybody's hungry. So, but it's all good. We're glad that you could be with us tonight, and you taught us some really good, pantry skills and knife skills. We appreciate it.
I love working with you, Alex. I love working for the patrons of Middle Country. Please take a try at these recipes. They're super healthy. Get more fruits and vegetables into the diet. And I just want to say thanks so much. Hope to
Thank
see
you.
again soon.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you for your time tonight, and we will see you soon. Thank you, everyone who attended. We will see you soon. This ends our program. Thank you. Take care. Be safe.
Alex, thanks again, buddy.
You too. No problem. Anytime. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.